Gentlemen, excellent to be back with you on MGTOW Money. Today's topic, 3 lessons from Old Man MGTOW. Before we get to that, thanks to the ongoing support from the Patreon investors in this channel, as well as thank you to those guys who bought me a cup of coffee via PayPal, Bitcoin, based upon the last video. Men, show your respect for this channel. See the video description today. Join the legion of Patreon supporters and supporters of this channel right now. All right, on to today's topic, 3 lessons from Old Man MGTOW. Men, I don't know about you, but I'm fortunate. I happen to be around a lot of older men. I'm defining older as being 65 plus years old, and many of them are single by choice. And probably many of you are not that lucky. You're not able to have those types of men around you. And I say lucky very distinctly because I can tell you, being around those types of men of that age is a sincere pleasure. And you can learn some tremendous life lessons from those men if you're willing to keep an open mind, ask questions, and to listen. Years ago, wow, it feels like years ago, a year or so ago, I did a video where I interviewed one of the oldest MGTOW that I personally know, that I'm frankly very good friends with. I know him very well. He's a former business owner to set the stage. He's a lifelong hustler. And oh, by the way, he has been decades a bachelor. When I say decades, I think at least 30 plus years. He has not lived with a woman. He's not been married to a woman. And he's lived a very self-sufficient lifestyle. And now lives in a different country from his original birth. He does, to sum up here, men, what he wants, when he wants, where he wants. And he has amassed quite a significant or a fair amount of capital and lives, frankly, what I would presume, and most people would say, well, that's a nice lifestyle, traveling and no worries, etc. All right, before I get into 3 lessons that I took from Old Man MGTOW, I want to quickly mention something from our sponsor. All right, now, this is not a specific sponsor. This is, though, a book recommendation. I cannot recommend this book highly enough, in particular for those men who really are serious about starting a business, who want to, if nothing else, you just want to understand, how does a business work? What do they mean when they say the term balance sheet? What are they talking about when they say cash flow, customer acquisition? When you hear the term USP, what's that? Unique selling proposition. What does that mean? Again, there's a great little book. I just finished it. Go to the video description today. The book title, Rebel Allocator by Jacob Taylor. It's a really quick, easy read. He has this great story. It's a novel, but he incorporates some great ideas. It's almost like going through a little MBA course, Masters in Business course, with the terms that he uses and that type of thing. Guys, I can tell you, I think you'll really enjoy this book. Unfortunately, there's not an audio version up, or I definitely would refer that to you. But anyway, again, go to the video description today, click that link now, grab that book. You will enjoy it. The 3 lessons are, 1, if this is a key word, if you're going to get involved with women, which I know a high percentage of you are, despite all the hours of MGTOW videos, etc., no problem. If you're going to get involved with women, you've got to understand that you're going to be using them. Yes, just like, guess what? They're using you. They are using you, of course, for looks, money, status. You correspondingly are using them for, in my opinion at least, looks, sex, and companionship. That's it. It's okay. We're big boys here, I hope. This is a transactional nature. You're both bringing something to the table. What can you bring to the table is okay in terms of whether it be looks, money, status. You're going to bring one of those, and therefore she's going to be attracted to you. We're all animals here. The point is, though, you always need to be aware of your downside in terms of what you're bringing to the table. Because for most of us, the only thing that we're bringing to the table, or at least the primary thing we're bringing to the table, is, of course, money. And the point being is that if you choose to involve yourself with women, the more money and resources that you're putting into that, the more risk that you're going to be incurring. Using a real life example, if you're choosing to get married to a woman, which again, I've said this in the past, is a legal contract, you therefore are giving up right off the bat, legally speaking, 50% of your assets. So you go into the marriage, you don't have any assets. Who cares? The point being, though, maybe you're going to have some assets 5, 10, 15 years down the road, right? You hope to accumulate some money as you get older, right? Well, guess what? Every dollar that you accumulate after marriage, at least 50 cents, 50% of that is going to your wife. Every penny, every half of that money's going there. Furthermore, again, once you incorporate children into the equation, it's going to be decades of paying money to your wife. No matter what the circumstances are, almost no matter what country you're in, this is going to happen, especially in the Western world. The point is that never be afraid to walk away from a relationship, in particular if you're concerned about the downside. The person with the most power in any relationship is the person who is not afraid to walk away. Just be careful and watch your downside in those relationships. 2, he has been adamant for decades about paying cash for everything. And I emphasize everything. That's how he ran his business, how he developed a very successful business. That's how he operates today. He is a total debt phobe. This guy avoids debt like the plague, and despite that, has developed a significant, again, capital base. Now, I understand leverage can work really well, and obviously has worked really well for some of you. However, it can also work against you. And I'm just saying, for the vast majority of us, and if you want minimal regrets and minimal concerns and a relatively stress-free life, as he has emphasized, and as I can see from his life, is that by avoiding debt, by operating primarily on a cash basis, not only will you significantly reduce any stress in your life, furthermore, you'll be able to enter into some great opportunities. For example, he had another business down the road from his current business that he had at the time, and the other business, if you will, ran into some serious financial problems and was getting ready to close their doors. Because he had cash, because Old Man MGTOW had some cash on hand, he was able to do a great deal and buy a lot of this guy's inventory before he closed up shop, because he could step up with cash on the barrelhead. Bottom line, paying cash for anything, small, large, whatever, it keeps it simple, clear, and straightforward. I guarantee you, you will sleep at night if you've got no debts. I can also guarantee you, there is the possibility that those guys who have a lot of debt, they won't necessarily be sleeping well, in particular if we fall into a recession. All right, lastly, this guy does not lead a sedentary lifestyle. I'm telling you, man, I've seen this with too many older men. They fall into the television watching trap or just staying home and doing nothing, etc. This guy is up and down ladders. He's on roofs. He's constantly on the move. He's working on his motorcycles. He's a aficionado of motorcycles. The point being, he's always doing something. As he told me, he rarely has time because he's always busy. He's involved with different people. He's not sitting around playing video games all weekend. He's not sitting on his ass doing nothing. The guy is involved. He's up and active. You need to consider doing the same thing. The habits that you're building today are probably going to be lifelong habits. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult. The farther you get along in life, of course. A man at 25, those habits are going to be much more difficult to break those habits if they're bad habits at 35, 45, etc. The point being is that get active. I didn't say anything about any other people. I didn't say about joining groups and clubs, etc. If you want to do that, cool. The point is that you need to get out. You need to get moving, whether that be going to a gym, whether that be going just hiking, etc., whether that be going out bird watching, as one man mentioned in the comment section a long time ago, which I think is a great idea, actually. The point is that you need to get active and stay active throughout your life. You don't want to be that 68-year-old guy who I also ran into, a totally different guy, who is evidently spending hours and hours and hours sitting by himself, watching television, and talking about how he had thousands of other hours of TV that he saved up that he still wanted to watch. I don't know about you. That's not how I want my life to end up, and I'm sure you don't either. Finishing with 3 quick takeaways. 1, remember, if you choose to get involved with women, no problem whatsoever. Just watch your downside. Be very, very, very careful. I've done previous videos about this. You know what I'm talking about. 2, always pay cash. I get it. Leverage can be a great way to make a whole ton of money. And of course, real estate has made more millionaires than any other investment known to mankind. It's also caused more bankruptcies than any other. Speaking from my experience, paying cash, I almost have 0 regrets when I've paid cash. Taking out credit cards, taking out loans, I can tell you for a fact, I've had numerous examples where I ultimately regret it. Lastly, stay active. I can't put it any more simply enough. Our lives should not be spent around staring at screens 6, 8, 10 hours a day. I personally have to remind myself of that, and sometimes I have to control my own bad behaviors regarding that. You can do the same. Gentlemen, as always, I hope you found this profitable. Hit the like button if you did. John Galt out.